making a big roar to let people know that this is his jungle. Welcome back, and this is going to be the intro for the campaign for Nakai the Wanderer. Little unique and different from the other Lizardmen lords that you can play. He is a horde faction, or lord, I should say. Kind of similar to the Warriors of Chaos and Beastmen, where you can run around as a horde group. You can see your Jungle Nexus shared recruitment access using the primary horde as a focal point from which to recruit via the global pool. Spawnings of the Ancients, restricted from settlement capture. Ownership can instead be transferred to the Defenders of the Great Plan faction for notable benefits. So Nakai, the Spirit of the Jungle, his horde unlocks units while other hordes use global recruitment to get access to them. His vassals occupy the settlements that are conquered, and more settlements controlled come with increasing rewards. Increased recruit rank for Kroxagar units, because of course Nakai, a big giant Kroxagar, of course is going to have benefits for Kroxagar units. So I'll show you how the horde gameplay kind of works, but for now, let's take a look at his own unique intro, which also plays for this guy over here, Marcus Wolfhart, for the Hunt Marshal's Expedition, but I, of course, prefer to play, and he's got his own little different gameplay stuff here as well, but the limited roster and stuff, you can see that there's some negative things here to playing as him, but instead, I kind of prefer playing this guy here. Let's take a look.
The jungle continent of Lustria lies west across the great ocean. The first men to land upon these shores ransacked an ancient temple, filling their ships with golden treasures. Word spread of their wealth, and others were eager to follow. Fueled by greed, men of the Empire ventured deeper into the jungle's heart. The land of beasts, ravaged and plundered for its riches. It will not be without consequence. The jungle stirs. A cold-blooded fury rising to punish the invaders. In the temple cities of Lustria, the Lizardmen enact a ritual to call upon their mighty guardian. For the Wanderer roams Lustria once more. The spirit of the jungle made manifest. A reckoning has come. Only the strongest will survive the coming bloodshed.
Deep within the impenetrable jungle, something monstrous silently stirs. Lustria is and always has been the dominion of the Lizardmen, but now the Warmbloods encroach upon sacred land, their plundering presence an affront to the Great Plan. With a swarm of his faithful kin following in his wake, Nakai instinctively senses a struggle of great importance is coming. It is time for the greed of the civilized to be met with all the savagery of the jungle. Lustria under threat, too many trespassers, must defend. Warm blood cohorts near, they hunt lizards. Nakai hunt them. Man spawn invade. Itza territory wanes. Temple City must not fall. Other children nearby need help. Great plan demands. All trespassers will die. Jungle to reclaim. I protect Lustria for old ones. So, I mentioned the Defenders of the Great Plan. They get to take care of these. You'll notice there is no rituals for the Vortex up here. Instead, it's a different objective here. He needs to have the vassal hold 40 settlements. He also needs to defeat all 40 of these hunters, which is the 4 guys that have to do with, Wolfheart. These are the 4 hunters of the Empire that are part of his faction that, he has to destroy the entire Hunt Marshal's expedition faction. And then a final battle called the Battle for Itza. So, you'll probably notice this is some, so as I mentioned, it's very similar to how it works with, say, the Warriors of Chaos, where you rely on horde growth in order to increase the amount of, in order to increase the buildings here as he wanders around and he carries his own little, set of buildings with him. You can see here. So if you have any experience playing either the Beastmen or the Warriors of Chaos from the first game, then you will be very familiar with how Nakai plays. So, but this is one of the other differences here. Because when the Warriors of Chaos did it, they awakened the tribes of the Norska. So now you conquer this, and then you get a choice between one of these 3 different groups here. There's Quetzal, Itzel, and Zolanka. I hope I'm pronouncing those right. So yeah, they each have their own different bit of lore here. There's the Old One's Favor, Horde Growth. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's the difference between the 3 of these? Well, you can be able to see. Depending on how much you increase these, you will get certain kinds of bonuses. You can either increase Winds of Magic for this one. This one, you can be able to get the Protection of Quetzal ability and increase recruit ranks, as well as stats for different kinds of units, Skink Source and Temple Guard units. This one will be focused on beasts like Kroxagors. So if you're going with a Kroxagor beast and dinosaur type of army, this is probably the one for you, which is usually my, how I do it. So there you go. Temple built, and now that group there, the Defenders of the Great Planet, is now an actual thing, and I don't control it at all. They do. So the idea is that I'm just going around and I'm just conquering all these settlements while the Defenders of the Great Plan will be managing that. I just have to decide which of these 3 I dedicate to so that I can get my own other different kinds of bonuses as well, while also working on the Old One's Favor, which while I'm also working on taking out these guys over here. And you can click to see, where are they? Oh, over there, over there, over there. So yeah, a couple of them are actually not far. But they are pretty tough, so I don't recommend going after them right away. Nakai does not have a mount because he is a wanderer. What? Makes sense to me. But yeah, I do, I liked the Horde kind of gameplay while playing as the Warriors of Chaos or the Beastmen, though I wasn't fond of some of the attrition stuff, like the, if you were too close or whatever. There were some drawbacks to playing those. Plus, also, you're not really getting that much of an actual income. Now, of course, I have some mods to help with that, because income for Nakai and others was a pain when this first came out. I have mods going to kind of help with that. So, anyways, probably just continue this on my own off camera. But if you know, like I said in the other video, High Elves video, if you guys want me to do a playthrough of a campaign of any of these factions or lords, let me know. Some I won't want to do, but some I will be more inclined to do. And I could even respond like, well, I don't want to do that lord, but I could do this lord, and see if that's okay with you guys. I wish I knew how to like set up a poll or something on here so I could be able to, you know, see whether or not I could actually have a poll of people voting on which to have me do. So, but then again, I first need to know whether or not anyone actually wants me to do this or not. So anyways, that's Nakai the Wanderer, and a pretty cool, straightforward one. As I said, there's also, you can play on the other side and play the Hunt Marshals expedition, you know, with Wolfheart over there, where you're basically continuing to loot this place and, of course, take down Nakai and the other Lizardmen. But I personally prefer playing the Lizardmen as opposed to this group of the Empire, instead of Karl Franz, you know? If I wanted to play Empire, I'll switch over to Karl Franz and Mortal Empires. But yeah, that's the Lizardmen. When we return, we will be taking a look at the Dark Elves. And, well, you'll see. Stay tuned.